So if you're an Illinois resident, listen to this very carefully. Castle Doctrine in Illinois, it says, so this incident is absolutely tragic, and it highlights the importance of the fourth weapon safety rule. Know your target, consider the foreground and background. What's in between you and the intended target, i.e. in this case, a door, and what's beyond that target, i.e. other people in the area and in the vicinity. Now, with that being said, even if I did see this, you've got to keep a clear head, and having the way to defend yourself is the only way that you're going to be able to keep a clear head. So these guys are prank knocking on people's doors, which I guess in modern terms means trying to blast it down with their feet, kick it literally off. I can't even believe they didn't kick it off the frame with the way they're doing it. And this homeowner grabs a gun and he shoots them through the door. Turns out it's some kids. He's in jail and he's probably going to face charges. So here's this.
A social media trend turned deadly after a Virginia high school student was shot and killed Saturday for doing a TikTok door knock prank. 27-year-old Tyler Chase Butler was charged Tuesday with killing 18-year-old high school senior Michael Bosworth Jr. So in order to prevent another tragedy like this, how can families talk to their children to make them think twice?
So they say that it was a knock knock ding dong ditch prank, but this is the video that was pulled off of their TikTok page.
Yeah, we just waited to get shot.
Okay,
yeah, pretty much.
Nice
You know what?
calling the
Anything
police.
for the
I hope you
content.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think that this is horrible and tragic that this kid got shot and killed. I think it's horrible and tragic that this dude shot through the door. I think it's horrible and tragic that this dude's in jail. There's just a no-win scenario in this, because if somebody was knocking on my door like that, I'm not going to shoot through it because I'm just disciplined enough, but I would understand why somebody might want to, absolutely, 100%. So what lessons can we learn from this? So if you're an Illinois resident, listen to this very carefully. Castle Doctrine in Illinois, it says, one may use force which is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm only if the entry is made or attempted in a violent, riotous, or tumultuous manner, and there's an offer of threat of violence or personal violence to himself or another then in the dwelling. What does that mean for you as an Illinois resident who owns firearms and wants to keep your family and loved ones safe? If this was happening to you and you shoot through the door, you're probably going to end up in the same position that this guy is. Because the question here is, was it necessary to prevent imminent death, great bodily harm, or the commission of a felony within the dwelling? And if the answer is no, if the entry was not made or attempted in a violent, riotous, tumultuous manner, in this case, it clearly was. And being the key word there, that conjunction, at least I think it's called conjunction, and an offer or threat of violence against himself or another then in the dwelling. So not only should they be kicking in the door, or would they have to be, but they would also have to be saying, I'm going to kill you actively, making threats of violence against yourself or another. But then the question is always going to come into context, was it necessary to shoot them through the door? Well, did they have guns? If the answer is no, then it probably wasn't necessary. Did they have guns? Yes. Well, then maybe it was necessary because you were concerned that they were going to shoot through the door, windows, whatever it is, and potentially harm or kill somebody in your family or in your home or even yourself. If they're just pounding on the door, it just doesn't warrant enough necessity. Just because you were in fear doesn't mean anything, because it's all about reasonable belief, especially in the state of Illinois, reasonable belief that such force was necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm or the commission of a felony in the dwelling. Now, where this gets pretty, like, what's my line of departure, where I just say, hey, if they go beyond this point, then I'm absolutely going to get engaged. Obviously, one, if they have a gun and they're outside doing that, 100%, but you got to know your target, consider the foreground and background. Don't go running up in a window right next to them and getting your face shot off. Make sure you're offsetting yourself from a different window, a different position of the house, keeping the lights off, outside lights on, trying to observe hands, waist, and face, see what they have on them. That's how you confirm or deny whether or not they have a weapon. And that's how you know your target, and then consider the foreground and background properly. Now, other time when I draw the line is when that door comes off the frame, And even if you have it dead bolted, you should definitely go change the striker plates, screws, your door frame screws. Just replace it all with 3-inch wood screws, and it's going to very seriously increase the stability and the strength and the durability of that door system, that frame, and that actual physical door. Now, I digress. To the moment that that thing comes off the frame and there's no more barrier to entry, then yeah, it's absolutely necessary for me to defend my home with force which is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm, in order to prevent, what I see as, death or something worse. Maybe they want to injure me, tie my wife up, hurt my kids, hurt my wife, rape my wife, beat and rape my kids. I mean, they kick my door off the frame. Why would that be such a crazy thing to think? I think it's crazy to not think that. Why in the freaking hell is somebody blasting on my door at whatever time it is at night? I mean, to just sit there and be like, oh, well, that's probably high school kids. I don't know. I don't think that that's a very smart way to live life. I think that's very dangerous. I think that this is a unique case where, unfortunately, the guy should have just exercised a little bit more tactical patience. And that's even if he meant to shoot the kid on purpose, or the guy on purpose. He's 18. Because now I'm going to ask myself this question. Well, what's this guy's training? What happened exactly? Like, where was he positioned? How many shots were fired? What was he doing? What's his story in terms of like how he fired those shots? Maybe he had a lazy trigger finger, bad trigger finger discipline, hovers his finger over the trigger and trigger guard, doesn't keep it straight up and off the trigger until he's aimed and ready to fire. It's lazy. He's got it pointed at the door. They hit the door, scare him, and he accidentally shoots it off. That's a big possibility as well. So very sad, very unfortunate. Hopefully you guys are able to take a couple of lessons away from this when defending your home. And then also, talk to your kids, show them this video and let them know, look, like, this is not smart thinking, and this is probably one bad decision, bad choice that you should avoid. So hopefully that has an impact. Till next time, take care, guys.